Now we'll move back to the feet. Let's bring back our control curves, and from our global move control we'll go to our channels, put in a value of 1 so we can show the legs again. And what we're going to work on right now is just seeing if we could reuse any of our keys that we already have for the feet. Okay, and we sure can. This end section we can still use, but we're going to change things up a bit in our footsteps. Okay, as the character's coming back, since we have this heavy pull now. So first off, let's select the left knee and the left foot, and we'll start with them. And let's take these keys on frames 98 and we're going to move them back, because what we're going to have happen is the left foot, we're going to have that come back first, and then the right, and then we're going to place these keys so that the left foot will come back after right after that right foot steps, a little bit after that. So let's go ahead and take these keys and move them down. We'll shift select them and move them so that they now lie on around here, frame 142. So now it's going to come back later, and we also want to keep in mind where the character is stopping the pull. So at about this time, so we're going to have the left foot come back, and then when that right foot comes back, that's when he's going to step up. And we're going to get a really nice look from that. So the left foot comes back here, and we'll have the right foot come back a little bit after. So let's go ahead and select the right knee and the right foot control now. And we'll take these keys from frames 109, actually from frames 89, excuse me, to all the way to 118. Let's go ahead and shift select them all, and let's move them down, okay, a little bit after that left foot plant, so that it now lies on about, let's see, as the character's rising, at about frame 158. So what's going to happen, the left foot comes back, and then the right foot. Okay. And what we're also going to do is just get rid of this last footstep, because we won't need it. So let's just go ahead and shift select these keys, and right mouse button click, go to delete. Alright, great. So once that's out of the way, what we can do is work on adjusting the translate Y of our center of gravity so we don't get these IK lock in our legs. So go to our perspective and graph view, focus on the translate Y, and select just this region here. And let's bring our focus more to about frame 177 when the legs are locking up. And once there, we'll just go ahead and bring down these keys so we get some bend in the legs. Okay, like that. Awesome. So now, we'll go ahead and check that out in our perspective. Just hitting play. Here's what we have so far. Great. So, the character stepping back, and on that last footstep, he moves up. Alright, great. So that's looking nice. What we can now work on is this sliding that we're getting out of the feet. Let's block in the feet some more to remove some of that sliding. So we're going to use our middle mouse button trick just to make sure the feet will be planted. So we'll start with the left foot. Or remember, we're going to have that come back first. And we want it to come back at about the time where the character is starting to move back. And remember, his feet are going to be about the level of where his arms are until he starts to step back. So or where his hands are. So keeping that in mind, let's go to frame 68. And let's middle mouse button click where he was coming back at about frame 107, and from there we'll press Shift W and also key our heel pivot channel. So now that foot's going to be planted there like we want it to be, and we could even add a hold to our left knee so that won't be moving around. So we'll go to 68, we'll left mouse button click on 68, middle mouse button click on 107, and press Shift W. Great, so now that left foot's planted, and now we can work on having the, well, actually before we work on that right foot planted, let's go ahead and have the left foot move back. So what we can do is actually take this pose we have on 142 of the left foot and add it on where we want that foot to come back at. So let's say we have the left foot come back to about frame, let's see, if we scrub through, let's have the left foot come back to about frame 116. So these are going to be pretty quick steps, not too fast, but they are going to be generally pretty quick steps. So we'll go to frame, we'll left mouse button click on frame 142 and middle mouse button click on about 116 and press Shift W. So now what we get is the foot coming back, and then we get this nice plant, and we do also need to key our heel pivot channel so that won't be sliding around as well. Okay, so let's even go into our perspective and graph view and check out our keys that we have. Okay, so on 116 we actually need to adjust our, not the heel pivot, but the translate Z. Okay, so we'll just take this pose that's actually on frame 145, and then we'll middle mouse button click on 116, and then we can press Shift W. Alright, and now the foot will be planted. Alright, so just fixing that up a bit. Alright, great. And then that we have that left foot coming back just like we wanted to. Alright, great. So now we could go ahead and work on the right foot step, or blocking that out so we don't have it sliding back when the left foot's coming back. So let's go to the right foot now, and we want the right foot coming back a little bit after the left foot plants. So we'll go to frame 68, and let's middle mouse button and click on about frame, let's say about frame 117, and we'll press Shift W. Okay, so the right foot won't start coming back to then, and we'll also key our heel pivot channel. Okay, and then the left foot comes back, and now the right foot, what we're going to do here is basically translate it back first, and then we'll adjust our translate Z curve, okay, of our of this foot control. Okay, we'll see why here in a bit, but let's go ahead and go on to frame 127, and we'll translate the foot back here like that, and then we could even key the heel pivot channel. So now we have that right foot coming back, but now notice it's sliding up all the way back to the beginning here. Well, how are we going to fix that? Just by adjusting our tangency in our graph editor. So let's go to our perspective graph view, go to the translate Z, and what we want to do is take this key that we have set on frame 127 and basically apply that same pose to frame 158. So we'll just go to frame 127, middle mouse button click on frame 158, and key the translate Z. Excellent. So now we have the foot planted there. Great. And then when the character steps back, we get this nice step back here. Awesome. So what we can do now is just hide our curves and just hit play and check out what we've worked on in this lesson, just to recap. Okay, so we've got the feet planted for a little bit longer, and we've blocked out the feet as well, and that's going to make it a little bit easier on us when we again animate the steps. And then we've also reused some of our existing animation. Okay, so we won't even have to worry about the footsteps, the very last footsteps, since we already have them set. So all we really need to do now is just bring our focus on these a couple of steps here where the character brings his feet up and where he steps back. So that finishes this lesson, and in the next lesson we'll just continue working on getting these footsteps down.